Hello and welcome to this Markets.com country profile of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I'm your host, Armando Gutierrez Jr. With a population of over 28 million people, Saudi Arabia is the largest country on the Arabian Peninsula. Its currency, the Saudi Arabian Rial, is currently valued at 3.7 per dollar. Now let's take a look at the Saudi Arabian economy. The Saudis are the leading producer and exporter of oil in the world. Additionally, Saudi Arabia is a large producer of petrochemicals, cement, fertilizers, plastics, and metals. The current account balance for this oil giant is $95 billion, with imports totaling over $80 billion and exports totaling $230 billion. Petroleum and associated petroleum products account for Saudi Arabia's main exports, while their imports consist of machinery and equipment. Let's further discuss the economy. Saudi Arabia's real GDP growth in 2007 was 4.1%, with a GDP of $376 billion in nominal terms and almost $565 billion based on purchasing power parity. When examined per capita, Saudi Arabia's GDP amounts to $23,000 per capita. Despite its role as a leading producer of oil, Saudi Arabia is estimated to have a 13% unemployment rate, although some estimates suggest a higher rate of up to 25%. A bigger concern, however, is inflation, which continuously rises at a current rate of 10.4% annually. Now let's take a look at Saudi's markets. Let's move on to the country's only exchange, the Saudi Stock Exchange, located in Tadawul. The Tadawul All-Share Index is the exchange's main index, and the total exchange-wide market value of publicly traded shares is just over $515 billion. Now let's take a look at the Saudi Arabia political structure. The country is a monarchy, and the government is overseen by its chief of state and executive, King Abdullah. Because it's an absolute monarchy, Saudi Arabia does not have any political forces, and as for the judicial branch, the kingdom's legal system is based on the Shari's law, with several secular codes recently introduced, while commercial issues are handled by special committees. Now let's take a look at the tax policy of Saudi Arabia. Citizens and Saudi businesses pay no tax on income and are only liable for a small tax of 2.5% of net worth, whereas non-Saudi businesses pay up to 20% in corporate taxes. There's no value-added tax in Saudi Arabia. Now, the top 5 big businesses in Saudi Arabia, listed by market cap. At number 1, we have Saudi Basic Industrial Corporation, with a market cap of approximately $125 billion, primarily engaged in the chemical and fertilizer business. At 2, we have Al Rajhi Bank, which has a market cap of $40 billion and engages in the banking and financial services industry. At number 3, with a $40 billion market cap, is Saudi Telecommunications Company that, yes, is engaged in the telecommunications business. Next, we have Samba Financial Group in 4th, with a $24 billion market cap that is engaged in the financial services industry, with the last company being Saudi Electricity, engaging in the electrical business with a $17 billion market cap. Now, looking at the future, we expect Saudi Arabia's economy in 2008 to 2009 to maintain strong, simply because of the high output and demand for oil around the world. We look for the government to increase spending to alleviate the impact of soaring inflation and unemployment, as inflation will increase to around 11.3% by the end of 2008. Meanwhile, currency reevaluation remains unlikely. A good market for oil will maintain the current account balance in surplus, while subsidies and public sector payouts are expected to increase as well. The immediate effect on the oil prices from Saudi Arabia's recent hike in production was limited across the markets. With that, we conclude our presentation on the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am your Markets.com host, Armando Gutierrez Jr.